right, so let's dive into lesson 13. And Mark Holbert, would you mind reading that?
HTML order list. An order list starts with the OL tag, and each list item is defined by the IL or LI tag. Here's an example of the order list.
And then scroll down.
You got 1 red, 2 blue, 3 green. The item list or the list items will be automatically marked with numbers.
Yeah, so just remember when you do list item, because they're going to teach you next about other options, but if you do list item, it's going to put numbers in front of it. So now let's move on to unordered lists. Let's click continue. Oh, and Mark, do you have a camera? Oh, awesome. No worries. Thanks, Mark. Okay, what do you think the answer is here?
Should be lowercase I or LI.
Of course, yeah, list item. Perfect. Let's hit check and continue. And William C., would you mind reading that?
HTML unordered list. An unordered list starts with.
Let me pause you there. Sorry, I said it wrong. If you put an ordered list, the OL, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not LI. The LI you're going to use no matter what. But if you do an unordered list, then it's going to be bullets. Ordered list is going to be numbers. But all right, sorry, didn't mean cut you off. Keep going.
An unordered list starts with the UL tag. The list items will be marked with bullets.
Okay, and let's hit continue. Is it forcing any of you to do that? The code repo there?
Yeah, because it won't let me continue.
Okay. Well, now I'm gonna stop and have you do screen share, and then we'll go back to you, Brian. Okay, click the start coding. Okay. And William, if you could read that.
Experience, education. Now it's time to describe your work experience and/or education, which serves to highlight your career path and development. We will use an unordered list to present the information in a structured way using bullets. Task. Write experience in italics enclosed in H2 immediately below the summary section paragraph. Create a list using the UL tag, define each job with the LI tag, and then insert the bolded job title into it. Inside each LI section, write a short description of your job using the P element.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So what do you think the first step is?
Well, we got to create a list using the UL tag.
Well, the first one, yeah.
H2 tag.
Okay, so go ahead and do that.
Below that.
You probably want it below your.
It says immediately below the summary section paragraph.
Right, but the summary section paragraph is below that. Is below the summary. Because if you just had a title that said summary and then,
so below the deadline.
Yeah. So like just bring line 18 down and you just type on line 18.
No, it doesn't need to be italic. Yes,
You
it
probably
does.
want to put, I usually put my closing H2 and then I move into the middle, just because if you know you're gonna have a closing tag, I usually do the opening and closing tags and then move back to the middle so you don't forget to put your closing tag.
Okay, there's the closing tag.
Okay.
So italic, right?
Well, no, first in the H2, all you're putting is summary. So I just type summary.
Okay, shouldn't I be typing in experience?
No,
Because I got summary on line 15.
Oh, sorry. Yes, correct. Right, experience in the H2 tag. My bad. And then now go down to line 19 so you can add stuff there. And now what do you think you need to do?
Now I got to do the UL tag.
Perfect.
Just copy what they have written down.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. That's fine. It'll save you the typing time. I don't care. Yeah, if you just want to copy, no. Just copy the UL, like all that stuff right there, the UL and the list item and all that stuff.
I mean, all this.
Yeah. Because like they literally tell you, so I don't know why they want you to then do it when they've already told you. Well, you're gonna have to delete that one of those ULs though. And there you go. So now hit run. And commit changes. And continue. All right. So
There we go.
all right. So Brian, can you do screen share again? Okay. And then let's keep going. Yeah, so just hit check. And continue. And click on that one. Yeah. Okay. Mark Holbert, would you mind reading that one?
My skills. Back to our blog. Let's create my skills section, which is an unordered list of language you know. Reminder. Use the UL tag in which each item is represented by the LI tag to create a unordered list. Take a look at the code. We'll learn how to add progress bars to each of the skills in the following module. Task, create your own My Skills section. Use the A tag to make each list item a link.
Okay. So we're not going to add that right now to your Visual Studio because we just saw how unordered lists look. So I don't think you really need to see an example. So let's hit continue. And what's the answer here? They haven't even- yeah, it's weird. I don't even remember them teaching you about link tags yet, but
No.
good job.
Let's see. The LI.
Yeah. No,
Just
you
close
got,
it.
yeah, you got to do the closing LI.
I'll close the LI.
My bad. I should have specified. Okay. And continue. And continue. And let's go to tables. Samantha, would you mind reading this one?
Yeah, just a sec. Creating creating a table. Tables are defined by using the table tag. Tables are divided into table rows with the TR tag. Table rows are divided into table columns with the TD tag. Here's an example of a table with 1 row and 3 columns. Table tags act as a data container with the within the tables. They can contain all sorts of HTML elements, such as text, images, lists, and other tables, and so on.
Okay, well, let's hit continue. And we'll do this as an example, but they're about to teach you more about tables. So we'll do tables as an example once we're through more of the table section. And what's the answer here?
TD.
Yeah, table data. Good job. All right, Roger, would you mind reading this one? Oh, you're muted, Roger.
All right, a border can be added using the border attribute. A table cell can span 2 or more columns. And the border attribute is not supported in HTML5.
Okay, let's hit continue. And what do you think the answer is?
What attribute is used to expand a cell for 2 or more cells? The col span.
Good. And yeah, let's hit check, but then let's go back, because I should have touched on it a little bit. Go to the bottom. As you can see, like where they added that, it's instead of just, you know, 1 box per row, it's combined. So that's what they're talking about there. Okay, let's hit continue. And continue. And Kevin, would you mind reading this one?
Col span color. The example below demonstrates the col span attribute in action. You can see that the cell containing orange spans 2 cells. To make a cell span more than 1 row, use the row span attribute.
Oh, I guess I didn't need to touch on it because they touched on it. Well, let's hit continue. And what's the answer here?
TR,
Good,
TD,
good,
and table.
good. And continue. And Mike, would you mind reading this one?
Sure. The align and BG color attributes. To change your table's position, use the align attribute inside your table tag. Now let's specify a background color of red for a table cell. To do that, just use the BG color attribute. And in the case of styling elements, CSS is more effective than HTML. Try our free Learn CSS course to learn more about CSS and styles.
And we will be doing that. So let's hit continue.
All right. The align and BG color attributes. What attribute is used to change the color of a cell? That'll be BG color.
Good.
Okay, it didn't let me continue again.
Okay, let's hit back. Or never mind, don't hit back. Wait there, I'm gonna, is anybody else having is it not letting them pass? It's letting everybody else pass?
I just ignored it one time and then the rest were grayed out and it didn't force me to.
Yeah,
do
it just
anymore.
says if I want to use them, I have to go pro, but other than that, I can bypass it.
Yeah.
The word says my skills. The other one is confusing there.
Okay, but it's not letting you, William? Okay.
No.
Can you do screen share? Okay. Yeah, hit start coding. And we'll just do this faster since it's kind of pointless and not everybody's doing it. Just go ahead and copy what they have in the in there and add it below so go to line 24 and bring that down a row and paste it there. Did you upgrade to the pro version?
No.
Okay. Hit run and commit changes and you're good to go. Okay. All right.
It's not letting you continue at all. It just forces you.
Yeah,
to
it didn't. His continue button was grayed out.
Oh, weird.
I don't know why they're picking
Yeah.
on him. His computer picks on him, and his Sololearn picks on him. That like it just wants to make it more difficult for him. I don't know why.
Wow.
Sorry for you, William. All right. Who's oh, Brian, can you do screen share again? Okay. Sandra, would you mind reading this one?
The A tag. Links are also an integral part of every web page. You can add links to the text or images that will enable the user to click on them in order to be directed to another file or web page. In HTML, links are defined using the A tag. Use the href attribute to define the link's destination address. To link an image to another document, simply nest the image tag inside A tags.
And you can just remember that href as hypertext reference, so you remember what to put there. So do remember with images, you're using the source, and with links, you're using href. And you'll use href on other things too, like link tags and stuff, but we'll get to that. Oh. So I guess I'm confusing you with link tags. Okay, there's the A tag, which is to add a link, but then there's an actual link tag, which goes in the head of your document to link other, and you actually type out the word link, and that's to link other files into your HTML file, but we'll get to that once we get to CSS. Okay, let's hit continue. And what's the answer? Excuse whoever that was. What's the answer?
A.
Okay. And let's hit check. And yeah, and you'll be using A tags a lot because like your navigation bar that you're going to be creating to like go to other pages on your website, you'll have to use A tags for all that. And generally you do it in a unordered list with your nav, but you'll style out the whole bullet and everything, so it's not actually going to have a bullet. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get more to nav stuff. Okay, Franklin, would you mind reading this one?
Creating your first link. An example below, a link to Solo website is defined. Once the code has been saved, Learn Playing will display as a link. Learn Playing, click on Learn Playing, redirects you to Solo. Links can be either absolute or relevant.
Okay. Let's hit continue. And what's the answer here?
Target.
href.
Yeah, no. Yeah, let's do href.
So href.
Yeah.
I get credit for that.
Yes. And the funny thing is, target is actually used in links. But what you do is, like, if you want your link to open in a new tab, as opposed to opening in, like, just navigating away from your website and going to that page, or yeah, anyway, then you do target equals underscore blank. So it's funny that you picked that one, but anyway, continue. Oh, I guess I talked too soon because now they're talking about it. Anyway, Fabian, what's the answer here? Or would you mind reading this one?
Sure. The target attribute specifies where to open the linked document. Giving a dash blank value to your attribute will have the link open in a new window, a new tab. A visited link is underlined and purple.
Scroll down a little. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's hit continue. And what's the answer here?
Which value of the target attribute makes the link open in a new tab or window? Is it blank?
Yes, but you got to put an underscore first.
Underscore blank. Okay.
Yeah. Good. Let's hit check and continue. And continue. Will Torres, would you mind reading this one? Oh, still no mic? Oh, darn. Okay. Jacob, would you mind reading this one? And maybe tomorrow, Will, or not tomorrow, because it's the weekend. On Tuesday, maybe try dialing in with your phone, and so that you can, talk that way. Jacob, would you mind reading this one?
My schedule. Use table tags to add a table to your blog that represents your daily learning schedule. The TH tag represents the table headers. Take a look at the following code. The empty TD tag represents empty table cell. They're necessary because they maintain the table's structure.
Okay.
Customize the table to create your own unique schedule.
Try it yourself to see if it lets you open it. Oh, no, darn. Okay, then in that case, yeah, first let's do the answer and then we'll do a table. So what's the answer here?
TH and then TD?
No.
No.
Because if you look, you've got that, I'll give you a hint. It's got that closing tag right there that doesn't have an opening tag towards the end.
Oh, the table?
Well, no, the table has a closing tag.
But talking about the TR.
Yeah, table row, perfect. And then what's this one?
That would be the /TD.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So now let's open Visual Studio Code. And let's navigate to your static folder or your resume.html. Well, good. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to screw up what you did. So let's go back to the main.py. And so this is the body. Let's go ahead and create a table. So I'll just go through and ask people, Jacob, what do you think the first thing is that we need to do to create a table? What's the first tag that everything's going to be inside?
Would that be the H1?
No, just for creating
Table
a table.
tag.
Just creating a
Oh.
table. So what do you think it is? Well, I'll just tell you then. The first tag is going to be table. So let's go below. This is the body. So like click to the end of line 17 and hit enter. And then just create a opening and closing table tag. And then the closing one. Okay, and then yeah, hit return a couple times to bring that down so we got more space. Louis Landros, what do you think the next thing we're going to do to create a heading?
TR tag.
Good. And then inside the TR table row. Yeah, good. And then let's do the closing TR tag. Okay, and then bring that down a couple rows. Okay, and then Louis, what do you think you put inside that TR tag?
TH tags.
Good.
I had a question about the resume build. I made headings.
Mhm.
I don't know if I did it correct. I created headings for like the summary, professional skills, work experience.
Mhm.
But I put everything within the heading tags, not the body tags. Is that incorrect?
Okay, let's do screen share real quick so I can see what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Let me, where the heck did I?
Oh, you put it in like inside the H1 tag or something?
What? Here, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So after the header tag, I did an H1 tag.
Yeah.
And
if you want that
I didn't put it in the body tag.
Oh, everything's in the head. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and it comes out like this. I did it because it comes out like bold. And it looks. See that? This is the headers. These are the headers.
Yeah, none of that should be there.
No.
So, all right, go ahead and click in there. The only things you put in the head is stuff that is not going to be displayed on the page. So like your head tag is what holds all of your like files that you're importing, like you're importing outside CSS files. You're importing like things like that, or like your title, because your title's not on the page, it's up at the top. Stuff like that. That's what your head tag for. So all that so go ahead and cut all that and paste it into the body.
I can keep the H1 tags on there though, and put it, just transfer everything to the body.
Or actually, you know what would be easier? Just delete your head tag and or cut your head tag and your body tag. Your closing at the very bottom, your closing head tag and your opening body tag. Just cut those.
Right.
And go to the top. And just paste those right after the head.
Gotcha.
Okay. And now go ahead and
Oops, I gotta. Where did I put that? There we go. Oh, there it is.
oh, and I know why it worked, because you're not actually in your debugger. You're just opening a notepad. But it still shouldn't have worked, because that's not I don't know. But
What
anyway,
shouldn't have worked?
if you just put a bunch of stuff in your head, it shouldn't be appearing in the body section, but
What do you mean?
whatever.
Oh, well, see, I labeled it like H1, H2.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's just
In
like,
the body?
maybe you have a smart browser and it's just like, okay, he clearly screwed up, and we'll just fix it. I don't know. But let's go to, so first you should be running this all on your Visual Studio Code. So or sorry, in your Flask development environment. So click in your terminal. Okay, yeah, you don't have that running. So I'll help you with this after we get through the lesson, getting your terminal running and everything.
Oh, I thought it was already running.
Nope, you don't have it running. But we'll get it going.
Hey, Brandon.
Uh-huh.
I would also suggest that maybe at the end of this lesson,
Mm-hmm.
you give us like some instruction on how to make sure that our terminal is running, because I have the same issue. Okay. So that by the time we are set up, we know that all our terminal are running properly.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's go back to Brian. Would you mind doing screen share? Okay. Okay, so what did I ask last? Let's see. Okay. Jacob. Oh, well, first you put HT as opposed to TH for table heading. So yeah, let's just change that. And then what's it called? Jacob, would you mind saying what we do next from here?
Sorry, I lost track of where we're at.
We're just creating a table.
Will we be? TD.
Wait, hold on one sec. Sorry, I'm doing something. Just give me one sec.
Trying to look back at my notes.
Oh, no worries. So no, and so with the heading is you just put just TH for your headings, because the headings like the top row is what it's saying. So you can technically do it without doing one of TH, but it just makes it more clear that, okay, this is the heading. And I think it makes it bold or something, by putting it in a TH tag as opposed to a TD tag. So now so inside the TH tags, we would just put like
that when we do the H1 and
well, no, you would just put whatever the data is. So let's just say name for one. I kind of gave you a trick question on that one because it wasn't a clear answer. So My bad. I'll let you do
I,
that.
I still don't have my program up and running, so I haven't been able to practice any of this. So it's
Oh,
more of
okay.
kind of recall.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
going
no
back on my
worries.
paper notes.
And then, okay, so then let's copy this or let's just do a new th tag after this. So like on line 25, just do like a new th tag. And then we'll just say like phone number. And then do another th tag and we'll just say like email. So that's going to be our headings. Okay. Okay, so now Jacob, now that we have our headings, so we've got 3 rows. What do you think we're going to do next?
We already have it. You already have it closed up there.
Or 3, we've got 3 columns. So what do you think we're
You're wanting to establish the width of them, correct? As well.
Well, we're just creating the table right now. We're not worrying about the width and height and all that right now. So now that we have our first row of the headings, what do you think?
Start up with the paragraph.
No, I'll just help you with this one. So now we're going to put data in another row because right now we just have 3 columns in one row. But now we want to put another a column or another row. So what should we do to add another row? I'll give you a hint. We've done it once already.
Make another table.
No, not a whole nother table. We're still going to be inside in the same table. So like here, picture like Excel.
The TR.
Yeah, good. So we want to add another row by adding another, but it's going to be after that closing.
After the closing TR.
Yeah.
On 32.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. And now, what do you think you put inside that TR tag?
Now we're going to be basically repeating what we've already done, doing the TH.
Well, no, because only the first row's the heading. So what do you think we do on the second row?
Oh, now we're going to be doing the paragraph, right?
No, I'll just tell you, it's table data. So now we would just put table data and put like, we'll just make up like a fake name. So yeah, do a TD tag. And then inside that TD tag, just say like fake name. Yeah, that works. And then do another TD tag. Oh, good job getting a mic, Will. And just say 555, whatever. Okay. And then just another TD tag and just do some fake email. Alrighty then. Okay, and so now let's click on your command line. Do you have your server running? Or click the command one in your terminal. Because you're on Python, but click that other command one that's open, like right above where it says Python. Yeah, click that. Okay, so it's not running. So let's go ahead and do the stuff to run your server. So let's do, wait, are you on Mac? No, you're on PC. Okay, set space and then all uppercase Flask_app equals and then lowercase main and then enter and then set and then space and then all uppercase Flask_env for environment env November, yeah, okay, equals and then all lowercase development, all lowercase, and then enter and then Flask run. Okay, and then let's hover over that 127.001 and hold control and click that. Why did it quit? Try clicking it anyway. I want to see what happens. Why did it quit on you? Let's go back to your Visual Studio. Maybe it wasn't done loading. Just type Flask run again and hit enter and give it a second. Huh. Okay, yeah, let's control click it again. There we go. Okay, now go to your browser and hit refresh. Where the heck's our table?
Gotta save the main.py.
Oh, yeah, we didn't save it. We did all that work and didn't save it. My bad. Okay, yeah, hold Control S to save. Thanks, Cody. You're the man. Oh, no, hit cancel. Click into the file. And then now hold. Oh, wait, no. Click into the file again. Yeah, now hold Control S. Okay, good. So when that little white circle goes away, then you know it's saved. So, okay, so now let's go to your thing, your browser, and hit refresh.
Does he need to add the test at the end of his?
No, because we're on the main page.
Okay.
Why is it not displaying?
Probably need to clear the cookies on the browser.
Yeah. Okay, what browser are you using?
Chrome.
Oh, okay. So with Chrome, you're gonna have to go into the settings there to do that. Okay, so well let's click the 127.5,000 again so it's up there. Okay, and then expand this. Are you sure you're in Chrome? Because if you're in Chrome, we should be seeing
He's in
Google
Firefox.
I think you're in Firefox. Yeah.
Firefox, I'm sorry.
I know what the issue is. You have to put a /test inside the IP address.
Well, that would be correct if it was, but we were editing on the. I appreciate you trying to help. But we're editing on the main page actually. So we shouldn't. Well, at least I think we are. Hold on. Let me click into your main.py and then scroll up.
That's what I did to fix mine.
Yeah, we weren't editing in the HTML document. We're editing right on the main page.
Oh, I see, I see.
So it should have done it. So yeah, let's try clearing your, of course, cache is just for like pictures and stuff though. But let's try it anyway. Let's pull this up on Chrome. You have Chrome, right?
Actually, I don't think I have Chrome on this one.
Oh, yeah, you do. I see it in the left over there. It's hiding on the desktop.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, just get logged in or whatever. Okay. So now copy that 127, 5000 stuff and paste it there. And hit enter. This is brand new, so that's not the issue. That's strange. All right, go back to your Visual Studio. We saved it. Let's go ahead and save the. Oh, I bet your server is running weird. It's not running like it normally would. So I bet you that's the problem. Let's hit Control C or click in the terminal and hit Control C, because normally it would do an update every time you change something. And okay, now type Flask run. I think you did.
Oh, underscore
or something. No.
You capitalize everything but the F.
Yeah, all lowercase. It should be all lowercase Flask run. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now go to Google and hit refresh.
When he was putting on the commands, you put development with E in the middle of the words. So
Oh,
try rerunning the commands and it might do it.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. You're right, Cody. Good catch. Okay, so let's go back and hit Control C. But I mean, it worked. We see what it'll look like without a border. But let's go ahead and hit Control C in your terminal, and then do. Let's just, so we don't screw it up, let's copy it from the drive. So let's go to the Google Drive. And go to running local server. In the left, right there. Is the yeah, over to the right a little. Right there, double click there. And just copy that stuff, that set Flask, blah, blah, blah. No, sorry, just to Flask run. Yeah, there. Because the other one's for Mac. And click in there and paste that, yeah. There you go, now it's running as development. Good catch, Cody, I didn't see you spelled that wrong. Okay, so now when you run it.
Seemed to work, so I just let it fly, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, so now when you make an update, all you'll have to do is hit refresh and it'll work. So okay, but anyway, now you guys see how to make a table. So let's move along. Let's kick back to Sololearn. Continue. And Ayani, would you mind reading this one?
Types of elements. In HTML, most elements are defined as block level or inline elements. Block level elements start from a new line. For example, H1 tag, form tag, LI tag, OL tag, UL tag, P tag, pre tag, table tag, the div tag, etc. Inline elements are normally displayed without line breaks. For example, B tag, A tag, strong tag, IMG tag, input tag, EM tag, span tag, etc. The div tag element is a block level element that is often used as a container for other HTML elements. When used together with some CSS styling, the div tag element can be used to style blocks of content.
Scroll down.
Similarly, the span tag element is an inline element that is often used as a container for some text. When used together with CSS, the span tag element can be used to style parts of the text. Summary. The div tag element defines a block level section in a document. The span tag element defines an inline section in a document.
Okay, let's scroll back to the top because the way they word this could be confusing. So basically what they're saying is like if you have a form tag, right, or a table tag, you'll often have like use multiple rows for that, right? As opposed to or multiple lines of your HTML document. Like you'll have your opening form tag and then all the stuff in between on different lines, and then your closing tag at the bottom, right? Just like your LI tag and stuff like that. It's generally on multiple lines as opposed to your inline stuff like your B tag, your A tag, your strong tag, your image stuff. Well, not just on multiple lines. It's is used inside a tag, and it's used usually not by itself. So like your H1, right? Your H1 would be all by itself. Your form tag would have stuff by itself. But your A tag is usually going to be inside some sort of other tag. Any questions on any of that?
I have a quick question.
I didn't explain it very well either.
It's all right, and maybe we'll get into it down the road. But basically, I still don't understand the difference in the use of a BR and a span. I see them when I look at other lines of code. It looks like they're all.
No. Span is usually okay. So there's two ways to well, okay, there's multiple ways to style things, but generally when you're referencing stuff to style, you'll either put it in a div, or if you're referencing just like something inside a another element, then you'll put it in a span tag because you can't have
so if you need to style a specific element within a div, you would use a span?
Right, exactly.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That's what I was wondering.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Okay. Any other questions? But yeah, the BR tag is breaks. It's totally different from span. It has nothing to do with
okay.
Span. Okay. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. Let's hit continue. And who read that one?
I did, Brandon.
Oh, okay. What's the answer to this?
All of them except the EM tag.
Wait. No, don't do that. For block level, hit back real quick. because it should H1 and div are on their own, and B and EM are different. Let's go back and look at that just to double check real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
H1 and div are example at block level, and then inline would be like your B and your
The
A
B
tag
and
and stuff.
in the EM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's hit continue, and H1 and
And
div.
div.
Yeah.
H1 and div.
All right, good stuff. Let's hit continue. And next, we're going back to the top. And we just got a few more minutes here. Oh, Peter, is your mic working?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Would you mind reading this one?
The types of elements, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, types of elements. All the elements can be used as block level elements or inline elements. This included font elements, applet, embedded Java applet, iframe, inline iframe, INS instead of text, map, image map, object, embedded object script within an HTML document. You can insert inline elements inside block elements. For example, you can have multiple span elements inside a div element. Inline elements can contain any block level elements.
Okay. So we'll get into what all these tags are later. Like your script tag is what you use for all your JavaScript, and then the other stuff once we get to HTML5. They'll be covering some of that stuff. Let's hit continue. And what do you think the answer is?
This will be a no.
Okay. Let's hit check and continue. And all right, continue. All right, let's click on forms. And Lewis, would you mind reading this one?
And like a screen behind or something. I gotta hit continue on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. HTML forms are used to collect information from the user. Forms are defined using the form tag element with its opening and closing tags. Use the action attribute to point to a web page that will load after the user submits the form. Usually the form is submitted to a web page on a web server.
Okay. Hit continue. And what's the answer?
All right. Which attribute contains the URL address of the web page that is loaded after a form submission? Action.
Yeah, good. Your my helper was helping you there, I think. Hovering over it. Let's hit continue. Okay. William C. Can you read this one?
The method to name attributes. The method attribute specifies the HTTP method, get or post, to be used when forms are submitted. See below for description. When you use get, the form data will be visible in the page address. Use post if the form is updating data or includes sensitive information, passwords. Post offers better security because the submitted data is not visible in the page address.
So you're always going to use post, pretty much when you're sending information. The only time really you would ever use get is like when usually like you're going from like Google to something, or and like they're wanting to send data saying like, okay, this website came from Google, and they're sending it that way through the get. But like when you guys are doing it, just always send form data through post, because what happens is, like it said, everything appears in the URL. So like anytime you see like that the question mark and then a whole bunch of like blah 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 equals blah 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 and like all this stuff, that's like get form data that's up there. And you don't want to do that. And we'll go over, even though we're like out of time right now, once we get through this form section, we'll go over creating forms just so that you guys can see how all that works. Okay, let's hit continue. Let's hit continue. Okay, what's the answer? If they haven't taught you about
Post?
No, no, it's password. No, don't do it. I don't know why they're doing this. They haven't taught you that yet. That's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, the answer is password. You would have, I feel like this is out of order on solo
It
learners.
was on the bottom of the last page.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Back. Here, click the back button because I didn't see that. I'm sure you're right.
Scroll down.
Scroll down. Scroll down. Is it not letting you scroll down? Oh, there we go.
Oh.
So yeah, let's read this stuff too. Scroll up a little bit. Can you scroll up a little? Okay, yeah, right there. Can you read from there, William?
To take in user input, you need the corresponding form element, such as text fields. The input element has many variations. Depending on the type attribute, it can be a text, password, radio, URL, submit, etc. The example below shows a form requesting a username and password.
Okay, and then scroll to the bottom.
The name attribute specifies a name for a form.
Okay, let's hit continue. Okay, and so what's the answer?
Password.
Good. And let's hit check, and let's just keep going through forms so that we can cover forms today. You guys can see how that works and can play around with that a little bit as well. Samantha, would you mind reading this one?
If we change the input type to radio, it allows the user to select only one of a number of choices.
Let's scroll down.
Oh, well. The type checkbox allows the user to select more than one option.
And scroll down.
The input tag has no end tag.
Okay, let's hit continue. And what's the answer? Yeah, I know it's kind of a hard one, but I can help if you need help. So I'll give you a hint. We're sending a form. That was a pretty big hint.
Form.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, form. Yeah.
And then radio, maybe? No?
No, I'll give you a hint. Look up at the one right above it. And it's going to be just like that. Submit buttons are sent just like any other input.
So submit.
No, he already put it for you.
Oh,
and
well,
then
thanks.
what's the last one?
Input.
No,
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. Look, you've got an opening tag without a closing tag somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find, and I'm not seeing it.
Just keep looking. I have a feeling you'll find it.
Form.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, Lewis just text, is it form? Yes. Okay, hit check and continue. And Roger, would you mind reading this one? Oh yeah, see, they kind of tripped you up because they mentioned that submit was an input type, but they didn't really cover it like they are here. But anyway, Roger, what can you read this one?
Yeah, the submit button submits a form to its action attribute. The result.
Scroll down.
After the form is submitted, the data should be processed on the server using a programming language such as PHP.
Well, we're going to be using Python, not PHP, but anyway. All right, hit continue. And what's the answer?
Which value of the type the attribute turns the input tag into a submit button? Submit.
Yes. Okay, let's hit continue. And that's a good spot to end, but let's go over forms. So pull up your Visual Studio. And okay, so to have a form, we have to have somewhere to send it. So go ahead and expand your Visual Studio. All right, so right now we're on the main page, and if you see that get right there, so if somebody sends you a form using the get method, it's going to be processed on this page, right? But what we need to add is the ability to process on the post method. So go ahead and copy line 12 or 11 and 12. Well, from the very beginning of 11. Like the spacing matters. Yeah, perfect. So copy that and then go to the bottom and click on the line 42 and paste that. And then hit enter a couple times. And then do 3 double quotation marks and then a closing bracket parentheses. The little it'll look like a C. No, parentheses. Shift 0. Yeah, there we go. And let's change that def to post. So this is working with Python. So I'm going to show you a little bit of stuff in advance, but only because you can't do it without doing some Python. Oh, sorry. Delete that. Change get to post. And then delete that extra parentheses you added that's in red. Okay, so you need somewhere to send it. And like I said, you always send it with the post method. So now let's go right after, so click to the end of line 37 and hit enter so we can add some more stuff. And hit enter. And so now create opening and closing form tag. Oh, no, it's you just type out form. And then, yeah. And then return that down a couple lines. Okay, and then go back up to your opening form tag and click right after the M, and then add a space. So first thing we need to do is I usually specify method first and then action. It doesn't matter, you can put either, but let's just specify method first. So type method equals post in quotation marks. And then space action equals, and then in quotation marks, just add a slash. So what we're doing here is the main page is just, if you're trying to send something to just the main page or your root page, you just add just a slash. But here in action, if say we wanted to send it to the test page where we've got the resume stuff going, right there you would add slash test. And scroll down to the bottom. So or not all the way to the bottom, so right there on, so if you see on the class test, what it's doing is it's opening static /index.html. You could also open that resume page by adding to your URL instead of /test, you would add /static /index.html, but I just made it /test so there's less to type. And then if you scroll to the bottom, and we'll get into all this when we get to Python and Flask and everything, or keep going down. So if you want to add additional pages to your URL, like right where you've got on line 75, the /test references the class test, well, you just create another class and then add something on the next line. This is / whatever, and then the name of the class, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, so let's go back up to the top to where we were. Okay, so now we're referencing where we're sending it. So we're sending it still to the main page. And so now let's click on to line 39. And so just write the word the word's first name. And then now do an input tag, because the reason we're doing that is because you need to be able to tell them what they're filling out, right? And generally you would do a label for that, but it works just fine to just add text into your forms, and that's what I generally do. Oh, sorry, the input tag, you type out input and there's no closing tag. Okay, and then in that input tag, let's go into that input tag. Yeah, add a space. And we're going to do type, because we're going to specify the type of input we want the user to give us, equals, and then quotation marks, and type text, T-E-X-T, and that's what you're generally going to use for most of your forms. The users are generally going to give you input of text, and like it showed you radio and password and all that stuff, but the vast majority of forms is text. And now add a space. Oh wait, Mike has his hand raised. Did you have a question, Mike?
It's kind of a general question about this setup that we have. So we did our resume stuff on the index.html file, and now we're working within this main pie tab. I'm just trying to make sure I'm staying on the right pages here.
Yes, we're working. So right now on your main page, we're just kind of playing around with stuff that's not necessarily going to be on your resume page. But then in the in that, well, he changed it to resume.html, but your guys' index.html, that's where you're going to be putting your resume stuff, and then later we will move that over to the main page. But this way, right now, while you're just like testing stuff out, you can, because I had it flip-flopped, I think, where you would go to /test to test stuff out, but you're more often like throwing stuff on and you just want it on the main page. So like when you're like when you're following along Sololearn and you want to try it yourself, you just throw it on the main page and then click, and then boom, it goes right to that main page. Does that make sense? Hold on one sec.
I think so, yeah. Thank you.
I'll come back to you. One sec. Okay, I'm back. Did you have any more questions, Mike?
No, I think I'm okay for now. I think it'll come together as we continue moving here.
Yeah, so basically, long story short, right now your main page is just for playing around, testing stuff out that you're learning from Sololearn, and your index.html is where you're going to be like building your resume that will eventually move over to your main page when we're going to actually upload your resume.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so back to what we were doing. Okay, so we did input type text. Now what we have to do is we have to name that input so we know what to call in order to get that information from the form on the next page. So and it'll make more sense when we do it. So but anyway, just put name equals, and then in quotes just type first, and then ending quotes, and then let's go to the next line and just type last name, and then create an input tag. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then in that input tag, add a space and add type equals, and yeah, text also. And then space, yeah, name equals, and in quotes last. So we're just naming this input so we know how to retrieve it. And then let's go to the next line. And let's just say or password, and then input tag. There you go. And the type, and this time we're going to put password. Okay, and then space name equals, and then password. All right, and then let's go to add another line. There you go. And just type input type equals submit. Oh, but, it's gotta be, sorry, input tag. In quotes, submit. So, and then add a space. So by default, if you create an input tag or a submit, you add a submit button with the input tag, it's going to say submit, right? But if you want to change it, then what you do is you want it to say something else. Now type value equals, and then in quotes, type, I don't know, send form. So if you want to change the name on the button to something else, then that's how you do it. Okay, so now let's scroll down. Okay, so now click to the end of line 50 and hit return to add a new line. To the end. No. Yeah, just click to the end. Like after the colon. On line 50. Yeah, there you go. And then hit enter or return. All right, so now we want to retrieve our data that was sent to us from the other page, right? And the way we do that is, so first we're going to put it in a variable. And again, you'll learn all this when you get to Python, but to be able to work with forms, you need to know at least how to do that. So just type first. So, and we're just naming our variable first, but we could really name that variable whatever we wanted and it would still work. And then do equals, and then self dot request, because we're sending a post request is what we're doing. And so now we're trying to retrieve that. So we do self dot request dot get. And it has nothing to do with it coming from a get page. It's just you're trying to get the information. And then in parentheses, so the shift 9. No, shift 9. Yeah, okay. And now in quotes, type first. So here, oh, in quotes, just put first in quotes. Yeah, there you go. So here it has to be where it's in quotes, it has to be exactly like we named it up there, where we named it first. And again, that in your input tag, that input name equals, first, that's a variable too. Like you could name it whatever you wanted and it would still retrieve the data as long as you named this part right here the exact same thing as that. So now let's just copy this line, this line 51, and then go to the next line. And hit return, and then go back up to that line. Okay, and then just paste that, and then hit return and paste it again. Okay, so now let's change 52, line 52, the first to last, and both those to last. Oh, well, that one, make that password. But change the variable name at the beginning of the one we're on line 52, change that first to last. And the line 53 first, change that to password. And so you don't have to name your variables the same thing you name your like what it is, but it's just generally a good idea so that you know what you're working with. So now what we're gonna do, so let's scroll down. And at the end of those triple quotes on line 57, click there. So at the end of the triple quotes, but between the parentheses. You're one over, yeah. There you go. Okay, now add dot format. And this is also Python, so you'll learn this later. And then add parentheses, open and closing parentheses. Okay, and then type first equals first. And what we're doing here is we're taking that variable name first on line 51, and we're saying inside this string of text, when we write first, we want you to put this first, that variable, and then add a comma, and then type last equals last. And then another comma and password equals password. Okay, so first thing we're gonna have to do is we want to display it in HTML. So put on line 55, put a opening and closing HTML tag. And then bring your closing one down a few. And then line 56, add your opening closing head tag. Okay, and then line 57. No, leave your heads together is fine because we're not adding anything to it. Then go to line 57 and add your opening closing body. Well, you were right with the slash, but yeah. Oh, there you go. And then bring the body tag down a couple. Okay, and then click on to line 58. And so what we're gonna do is, so type first. And so that's just to say what's gonna be there. So we're actually just typing the text in HTML, and then add a colon. And now add the little squiggly brackets. So like right below your minus sign, hold shift and the one right below your minus sign. Yeah, perfect. Type first. And that's just so that we can insert, because what we're doing is we're inserting text into a string. So that's why we did first equals first. So where we type first in there is what's going to appear in that string. And then go outside the squiggly brackets and add a break tag. Oh, no, break tag. BR tag. And then hit return. And then type last. And then, yeah, same thing. Good, you got it. And then another break tag. And then password, same thing. Okay, so now let's hit save or Command S or whatever, or Control S. Okay, and now let's go to your browser. I think we were using, yeah, there you go. Then hit refresh. And so, wait, why did the break tags not appear? Go back to, oh, never mind. That was to the other page. Okay, so just type like your first, last, and then don't type a real password. Just type like something for the password. And as you can see, like when you put a password input, then it does those little dots for them, right? Now hit send form and don't save. So now you can see it's displaying what we wrote in that form. We're taking that and just displaying it to the screen, right? Generally, when you submit a form, what you then do is you're going to add it to the database, but you guys haven't learned SQL and you haven't learned Python, so I'm not really going to cover that at this point, but we will cover that later. But anyway, then you guys can see kind of how forms work. So any questions on that?
It just seems tedious
Why?
because like they're all pretty much the same thing. You just have to know the commands, really.
What do you mean? Like you just need to know how to send the form or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. But forms are super, super useful. That's what you're going to be using. Like your ability to work with forms and stuff on web pages is going to be a huge asset to you as a web developer, because most pages are just forms, but then like we're not just, you don't normally just save it to the database. Like you'll then take that data and manipulate it for whatever reason, like if you're sending a tax form or whatever, right, then they manipulate the data, do calculations or whatnot, and then spit something different out to the screen, right? But you have to be able to send the data to the server to be able to be processed somehow. And the way you do that is, at least with web development, is you send it through forms. So anytime you type anything on the internet, you're sending it through a form. Each time you hit, send and go to a new page or whatnot, all the web-based software and stuff, it's all working with forms. So I know this, I don't know, it may seem dumb or tedious or whatever, but it's super useful. That's like you will use forms all the time, and then you'll do stuff with it, like I said, process it on the back end. But yeah, does that make sense? Okay. That is why coding's not for okay. But any other questions on forms or anything we've covered today?
The quick question, did that populate on the test server because the action you gave it on submit was just the slash, which took it to this page?
Right.
Okay.
So like if we added, so here I'll show you real quick just a better example. Okay, can you pull up your Visual Studio again? Okay. Let's go up to, let's scroll up a little. Okay. Let's copy that lines 10, 11, and 12. And scroll down. And keep going. Keep going. Right here on like line 70. Let's paste it there. And change main page. Well, first, so we can stop that. Hit return a couple times at the end, and then put your 3 quotation marks and the closing parentheses. or yeah, the print shift 0. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so change main page to test 2. And then scroll down a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, so copy line 92. And go to the next line and paste that. And we'll hit return so that that goes back to where it should be. Hit delete. And then go up and go right and hit delete so it's even. No, you're yeah, right there. Perfect. Okay, so then add a 2 after the /test. Add a 2. In the quotes. And then change that test on line 93 to a lowercase t and add a 2 at the end of it, just like the class was that you made. No, on line, or did I say 92? I meant 93. No, 93. There you go. So yeah. And then go to the end of test and add a 2. Okay. And so now scroll up. Keep going. Let's actually copy. Let's copy everything on, or scroll down. Copy everything we just did from line 50 to even down below. But just the stuff we did. So up a little. So to the end of line 64. So copy that and then paste that on line 76. And okay, so now let's go up to your, so scroll up and keep going. Okay, so right here, down a little, right here where we have action /test, add, or on line 38 where it says action / add test 2, or action equals quotation mark / in the quotation marks, click there and then over to the right one and then type test 2 and hit Control S. And now let's go to your browser. Click to, yeah, go to wherever your Google Chrome or whatever. Or just hover over your 127.01 and again, and where is it? I think it's up a little more in your terminal, but not that far up. Up a little right there. Yeah. So hover over that and control click that. It should be pulling up. You just gotta wait, give it a second. It takes some time to pull up. Yeah, you can try clicking. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, so now just type stuff again. And type whatever. And hit send. And see, now we're on the page test 2. So we sent it to a different page as opposed to, since we just had slash before, it sent it to the post section of the main page, as opposed to sending it to a totally different page to be processed. And that's generally what you'll do. Like when you're sending stuff, well, actually, no, generally when you first create a form, you're going to send it to the page that you're on, because the first place people land is their get page, right? So by default, anytime you go to a web page, you're going to the get page of that web page. And then if you send something to via post to that same page, then it gets processed on the post section. Does that make sense, Mike?
Vaguely, but it's not any because of how you're explaining it. It's just my lack of knowledge, really.
Why is that useful?
Why is what useful?
The test 2, like sending it to a different page.
Because then you're gonna process it on a different page. So like, okay, let's say you've already sent stuff to your, like, say we're on the main page and the main page has a form to submit stuff, and you've already sent stuff to the post section, right? But then after, like, you know how people have like, there'll be multiple pages of information that you'll fill stuff out on, right?
So you can send it to different processes.
Yeah, different pages,
like a table
different
or
stuff, right? So like the first one, it'll just be like, what's your name, email, password, right, on the first page, and then it sends it, and then it processes it, saves it in the database, and then says, okay, now what's your address, phone number, okay, what's your, send that, emergency contact information, right, all on different pages, right? And it gets saved differently because it gets saved to different sections of the database, like and it just needs to know what it's processing. So that's the point of sending, of being able to send it to multiple different pages and not just that one page that you're working with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Sandra, you have your hand up. What's that?
Yeah, I see now on the test page 2 that the password is actually shown.
Yes.
Was there a step missed, or is that intentional?
No, because it doesn't show. So when you put password on the form, it does those little dots, right? So that you can't see it. But then when they send you the password, your database needs to know the password to be able to let them log in, right? It needs to compare it. Now, what we do actually, and I'll show you how to do that once we get to it, is we encrypt it, we double encrypt it. So when we save it into the database, it's saved encrypted. So like just a regular human looking at it wouldn't be able to tell what their password is, right? But then it decrypts it when it compares the password. So the server knows like his password is Word, right? The server knows that, but like if you just pulled up the database and you're looking at it, it would just look like gobbledygook to you because it's encrypted. So that's what we generally do with passwords and other sensitive information like social security, you know, even driver's license information, stuff like that, right? Basically, but yes, you do need to, but your server does need to know what the password is so that when they go to type it, it can compare it and make sure it's right. And we'll get into how to create the login forms and security stuff later once we get to Python and SQL and all that jazz. Any other questions, Sandra? Or did that clarify what you were asking?
Sort of, kind of. I understand, okay, on the first test page, it's all encrypted with the little dots, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the second, so is that then I guess both of those test pages are on the server, right? So I don't understand why it has to show on the other side to show the server.
Well, it's because we told it to display the password to the page.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We, like, normally you wouldn't. Like, if somebody was typing their password and then sending it, you wouldn't be like, okay, this is the password you typed, because then what was the point of those little dots, right?
Right.
It would just save it to the database. But we can you pull up the Visual Studio Code again? And scroll down a little. And see, like on line 60, we said, okay, so write the word password in a colon and then display what's saved in that variable password, is what we're doing right there on line 60. We told it to do that, but generally, no, you would not display somebody's password on the screen after they've typed it. But I was just doing that for demonstration purposes.
Oh, I see. Okay, now I'm with you. Okay, that's exactly what I needed. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry for the silly question.
No, it's not. I want you guys to ask questions so that it makes sense to you, because so that it's clear and you understand what's going on. So ask as many questions as you guys want. There's no such thing as a dumb question. All right. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, just go ahead and for our last 15 minutes, go ahead and play around, or 13 minutes, play around with the stuff you've learned with your Visual Studio. Is everybody up and good to go on Visual Studio? Your guys' development server's working?
No, mine actually went down.
Who said that?
Will.
Will, okay. If you guys want to mute, and once you guys get done playing around with everything, I'm not going to make you guys stay the second hour the whole time. Once you guys get, oh wait, hold on, let me do stop recording.